Hey guys, my name is Madeline. Uh, Hello to those that know me and those who don't. Even if you do know me, this is probably going to be a shock and kind of a more serious video for me. If you don't, well, you're going to get to know me if you watch the rest of this video, I guess. I have been sitting on this idea of making this video for a couple weeks now, and I asked around some people's opinions to ask if I should do it or what they feel about it. Didn't ask too many people because I didn't want a lot of people to say no, because then I really wouldn't have done this. But here I am. I finally decided to just go ahead with it because I feel that maybe I could help somebody. In this video, I'm really going to tell you about my life and my story this far. And I say this far because it's far from over and I'm still really in the middle of my story, I guess. And I also have a script kind of on the side of the screen, so if you see me looking over here, it's just because I'll go off in tangents, and y'all just don't want that, because this will be like an hour and a half long, and I'll start talking about what I did and what I ate last week. So we're gonna keep it, reeled in. And it's currently 12:53 a.m. So let's get into it, I guess. I have struggled with my mental health for really a long time, probably since I was young, but I never really noticed kind of it until it got super bad recently. Growing up, I was thought of struggling with mental health as such a big thing, not like, it doesn't have to be such big, like, oh, like, I'm depressed and I'm gonna kill myself today. That's not the only way you struggle with mental health. It's like the little things too, I guess. And I didn't realize that until farther along in my life. I'm only 18, so I've got a lot of more figuring out to do. But a lot more people struggle with their mental health than I thought, and it's a lot more than I thought. So growing up, I guess I didn't see that, so I pushed it to the side because I hadn't really seen people go through it. So I was like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. Growing up and still to this day, I've been known to be strong, independent, sassy, wild, Madeline, outgoing, always happy and always having a good time, I guess. But sometimes, and probably a lot more than I think, I use it as a mask, and do it still to this day, almost every day. I use that identity over me as a mask to not feel and to not, act all sad in public. Like, I refuse to act sad in public. I'm always happy Madeline. But about a year to a year and a half ago, I really started struggling extra. And then as I was struggling, my Nana died. She died just a couple days before my birthday, my 17th birthday, and that was really the start of me really masking my feelings. Her funeral was May 28th, and my birthday was the next day. After her funeral on May 28th, I drove 2 hours to Newberry and back, and then the next day on my birthday, I had a huge birthday party with everybody in my grade, and hid everything. I held everything in, act like nothing happened the day before, like I was going to have the time of my life. It was my 17th birthday. I was going to live it up, and I did. I really truly had a good time, and with the people that, I love, but after that, I held every emotion that I had in, and I pushed a lot of my favorite people away and just started keeping to myself and keeping myself so busy. Like, I was working 24/7 at Sonic, and what didn't seem like 24/7 to other people was really 24/7 to me. Like, I really shouldn't have worked that much. I was working so I wouldn't feel. I was basically working myself to death along with working out. I was physically fit, but not like mentally fit at all. And like, here's some pictures. Like, here's me. I mean, like, I looked amazing. Like, I really was tip-top shape. This is me sitting there, and the little thing says, I could sit here forever. I just would sit at the gym sometimes. I would be there for hours. And it'd be like midnight, but it was like the only thing that I did. Like, physically I was so fit, but mentally I was so low. And it was just like an up and down battle. But then June 1st of this year, just about 3.5 months ago, it was just the cherry on top. I got broken up with, which to me felt like my world was crashing down. I was already struggling with feeling like I wasn't enough, so it was kind of the cherry on top. It was right before just about the best time of my life, or what should have been the best time of my life. I was in the Miss Wilson pageant. I had my graduation party, graduation, senior week, summer, like all this fun stuff, and graduation and transitioning. And I just was devastated through it all, and really had to put on a mask because I had all this stuff I had to go through, and I couldn't just be sad the whole time. But here's a picture that pretty much sums up that experience. The next day after the breakup, I had my new hire appointment for the job I'm currently working, that I worked so hard to get and was so excited about. Here is my ID picture for the foreseeable future. And I mean, that might not look bad to you, but let's get some backstory. I got broken up the day before and I got bit by a tick, and we had to go to the doctor because it got like infected, and got put on these strong antibiotics, and I was so sick from this medicine. Okay, not only was I devastated, but I was so sick. Going to the appointment, I threw up 2 times in the parking lot and then 1 time in the office, and then took this picture like nothing happened. And yeah, I still made it seem like everything was okay. And yeah, that was basically it. And sometimes it was okay. Like the next couple days, getting ready for my graduation party, I had a blast. I had people surrounding me that loved me and knew what I was going through, so they made it extra special. And then people who didn't, who still were there, and they would have never guessed what I was going through, because I really had a great time. Here's some pictures from that, of me just happy, really. I mean, like, you couldn't wipe that smile off my face if you tried. I was dancing, singing, karaoke, all this kind of stuff. And it was 4 days after the breakup. So, like, lows, highs, like, they were going up and down. You would have never known what I was going through, but I was going through it. This really started my journey and pushed me to really evaluate, like, self-love, and my battles with emotion and my thoughts just got greater and greater. It seemed like my emotions just kept going up and down. It was like a roller coaster, really. And it was like this for a while. Fast forward to a little bit over a month ago, August 5th. This was the day I had been happy for a few days. Like, I'd been at the top of the world. It felt like nothing could break me. Like, I was so happy. But here's a picture that I posted on my private story, and I was like in a crazy good mood. And I posted multiple pictures like these few days leading up to this. I was so happy. But then the next day, I also had an amazing day. Like, it was like a high, and then the next day was such an amazing high. I went to Greenville, went to Pretty Place with my best friend. We went on a road trip. It was amazing. It was such a good day. Like, nothing bad happened that day until I got home, and I was alone, sitting in my bed at night with my thoughts and my emotions all to myself. Which is where I get in my head the most, is when I get home and alone by myself. No one could have guessed by the last couple days before that what I would have done and what I would have thought that night. It ended up being about 2:30 that night morning, I guess you could say, and I was just in shambles. Like, I was a wreck. I just had no hope and just didn't see the future or a way out. And I just wanted to fall asleep and never wake up. I really did. And just avoid the future. I didn't want to carry on. I could have cared less. The way I felt like I felt like I knew the answer. I didn't. It was not the right answer now that I look back on it. But a few months before that, I had trouble sleeping, so I've been taking melatonin pills, and it was beside my bed, and I looked over, and that was the only thing that I could think was the answer. I took 25 melatonin. I just started popping them. I was like, I'm going to sleep, and I'm not waking up. I hope I don't. And, like, I was okay with it until after I took the 25th pill, and I was like, crap, I'm scared because that's a drug overdose. And really it's attempted suicide. But I had like an oh crap moment where I was like, I don't want to die. What if I die? And so I texted my friend, who texted her mom, who texted my mom, and that started the whole situation that night. Poison control was called, 911 was called, got driven to the emergency room, and they checked me out. I was okay. Could have been so much worse. Like, I'm talking, it could have been so much worse. I was in the ER till about 6 a.m. that morning, and I was scared. My friends were scared. My family was scared. I've never seen my family like that, and it was really eye-opening to see them like that. And it was probably the worst night that I've ever had. The next night, obviously, we had to talk about it, and I voluntarily decided to go to counseling, and have been going for just about every week since then, and it's been really good for me. I was honestly scared, and I thought it was like kind of like a weak moment to go to counseling, but it's not. It honestly, if you need it, you need it, and it helps. It really does. But I mean, I still have really low lows and high highs, but I decided to find resources, which is always good to find resources like counseling or other things, because they do make a difference. I'm telling you this because this isn't like a, hey, I've been there. I mean, I have been there, but I'm still there. Like, I'm talking, like, there's been progress, but it's like, progress is not always like just straight. Like, it's like an up and down thing, and I'm still on that roller coaster, and sometimes I feel like it's like the fury. Like, I'm going down, and then I get to that thing, and I'm like, okay, there's hope, you know? This is me being in the middle ground, I guess. But hopefully one day I'm gonna be one of those people telling you the story, like, hey, like, I found peace, and you can too. But this is not that kind of story. This is, hey, like, I'm looking for it just like you are, like how many people are. But yeah, this is being in the middle ground. And after that night in the ER, it's been so lonely. Even though there's been people who worried about me, checking up on me, like doing all these great things, like they're doing an amazing job, like it gets lonely because I feel like there's no one that really knows what I'm going through, because they're not going through it at the same time as me. There's people who have gone through it before me, and there's people who, you know, like are at the other end of the spectrum who, you know, try to commit suicide and succeeded, and their families are telling their stories. Or there's people who have, you know, gone through the whole journey, and they're like, yes, like, all of this works because I found peace and I found self-love, like that kind of stuff. But you don't really hear people in the middle ground, and that's what I feel like I could have benefited the most, is hearing like the people be like, hey, I am still struggling. I am sitting here today not knowing what to do. I just have no clue. Because that's me most days. And I've had instances where I've gotten close to making mistakes like I did that night. But I found resources, like talking to certain people and making emergency plans. And one good resource is the suicide hotline, and I've used that a couple times, and I promise you it's not as scary as it seems. But there's other resources like that, and I'm still looking for them, still looking for tips. Because of what I'm going through, I feel like I can help others, and I feel like others can help me, and they can help others, you know. But I don't want people to think that it's like a pass or fail type of situation, like mental health. Like either you pass and you live a great life, or you fail and you die. Like I don't want that to be like the thing. Like I want them to be like, okay, like it's okay to be in that middle ground and not be okay, like for a while. Like it's okay. But like I said, I'm still climbing, and I want to reach out to others who are climbing, and maybe we can climb this road to self-love and joy and peace together. And I just want to reach out a hand to other people, and I want to create a space that other people can find others going through what they're going through. And that's the idea that I kind of had, and I want to know other people's opinions, so that's why I'm making this video. The idea that I had is I want to start a group of people who are in the middle, who need people to walk with them, going through the same things as them. Like, it's very good to have mentors that have gone through it in the past and have succeeded and have done great, but it's also good to have peers. You know, like mentors and peers are very important in this time. And I just want like to create a space where each other can be blunt and honest and true about what they're struggling with. And I'm not really sure what it can look like. Like I have some ideas, like boys and girls in like the Florence area getting together in person, or like not even just in the Florence area, because I know like a lot of like people in like my friends and stuff are off in college. Maybe like a Zoom call of like college kids. It doesn't even have to be a certain age group. I just want to shine light on, you know, those situations, because I know that I think it could really benefit me, and I think it could really benefit a lot of people that relate to me. And I guess just my DMs are open with ideas, and just anything that y'all want to say that maybe could spark some ideas of something that I could do in the Florence area, or like around, or something kind of like a support group, so like you have people, because the mental health journey can get so lonely. Even though just about the whole world's dealing with it, it still feels lonely. But yeah, DM me, send me a message on Messenger, Snapchat, Instagram. If you've got my number, text me. If you don't and you want my number, you know, ask me for it and I will text you. But yeah, that's just about all I have. This is kind of like a rough around the edges kind of idea, and a rough around the edges kind of video. And it's kind of like a vulnerable thing for me, just because literally there's probably, I could count on my fingers people who know my story. So this being posted on Instagram and Facebook, especially Facebook, because that's more like the older generation, and that's scary in itself, you know. But yeah, I just I guess I don't really have much more to say, but my DMs are open, and I love you all, and I'm here for you all, and I'm going through the same stuff y'all are, So, yeah. Peace out.